The average American retiree carries $27,000 in credit card debt into retirement. I'm about to show you why this debt is different than all other debt and deadly. The bills. We see commercials with couples walking on beaches, playing with grandkids, traveling to Europe. What we don't see is the stack of credit card statements on the kitchen table, the calculator coming out every month, the panic when you realize your Social Security check doesn't even cover your minimum payments. Let me tell you something that's happening right now across America. 40% of retirees are carrying credit card debt into what should be their golden years. And here's where it gets brutal. At the typical credit card interest rate of 21%, that means paying $473 every single month just in interest. Just keeping the debt alive while it slowly drains you. This is a death spiral, and I need you to understand why. The retirement debt trap: when you're working, debt is manageable because your income can grow. You get raises, bonuses, promotions. You can pick up overtime. You can switch jobs for more money. Your income has elasticity. But the moment you retire, that elasticity disappears. You're on a fixed income. Social Security doesn't give you a raise because you're struggling. Now imagine you're bringing $27,000 in credit card debt into that fixed income reality. Your minimum payment isn't just a number on paper anymore. It's a permanent deduction from money you need to survive. And here's the nightmare scenario that happens to thousands of retirees every single month. That minimum payment barely covers the interest. You're paying $473, and maybe $50 goes toward the actual balance. You're on a treadmill going nowhere. You need a new roof. Your car breaks down. And because you're already maxed out making minimum payments, where does that money come from? You guessed it, more credit cards. The balance grows. The minimum payment grows. The treadmill speeds up, and you can't keep pace. Eventually, you miss a payment, then another. Your credit score tanks. Late fees pile on. The interest rate jumps to 29%. And now you can't even borrow money for real emergencies because your credit is destroyed. You're trapped. Carol's story. I want to tell you about Carol. She's 68, lives in Florida, and she's living this nightmare right now. Carol worked as an office manager for 35 years, did everything she was supposed to do, saved some money, paid into Social Security, looked forward to a quiet retirement. She retired 2 years ago with $31,000 in credit card debt spread across 4 cards. She thought she could manage it. Her Social Security check is $1,850 a month. Her minimum credit card payments total $620 a month. That left her with $1,230 for everything else: rent, utilities, food, gas, insurance, medication. She was barely holding on. Then 8 months ago, she fell and broke her wrist, so she put it on a credit card. Now she's $34,000 in debt, and her minimum payments went up to $680 a month. Carol told me she cries at the grocery store. She's choosing between medication and food. She hasn't seen her grandkids in another state for over a year because she can't afford the flight. She's 70 years old and seriously considering bankruptcy, something she never imagined after working her entire life. This isn't a story about someone who was irresponsible. This is about how credit card debt in retirement becomes a trap with no exit. You might be wondering how retirees end up in this situation. Because the retirement advice always says, pay off your debt before you stop working, right? So what's happening? Medical bills are the #1 reason. Even with Medicare, retirees face serious out-of-pocket costs. A hospital stay, a surgery, ongoing treatment for chronic conditions. These bills add up fast. And when you're on a fixed income with no savings cushion, those bills go straight to credit cards. Then there's family. Retirees are helping adult children who are struggling. They're paying for a grandchild's medical treatment. They're covering rent for a daughter who lost her job. These aren't bad people. They're parents and grandparents who can watch their families suffer. But they're using credit cards to be the hero, and it's destroying their financial security. Some retirees take one last big vacation right before retiring or right after. They've been working for 40 years, and they feel like they deserve it. They put $8,000 on credit cards for a trip to Italy, thinking they'll pay it off quickly. Home repairs are another massive factor. Your roof starts leaking, your HVAC system dies, your foundation cracks. These aren't optional expenses, they're emergencies. And if you don't have $10,000 sitting in savings, you're putting it on plastic. And here's one that nobody wants to admit. Some people were living above their means in their final working years. assuming they'd figure it out later. They kept the lifestyle going with credit cards, thinking retirement would somehow fix it. It doesn't. It makes it catastrophically worse. The escape plan, if you're already in this situation, I need you to hear this. It's not over. You have options. First option, balance transfer to a 0% interest card. If your credit is still decent, you can move that high interest debt to a card with 0% APR for 12 to 18 months. This stops the bleeding. No more interest piling on every month. Every dollar you pay goes directly to the balance. This only works if you're disciplined enough to pay as much as possible during that 0% window. You take out a personal loan at a lower interest rate, maybe 8% to 12%, and use it to pay off all your credit cards. Now, instead of 4 cards at 21% interest, you have one loan at 10% with a fixed payment. This simplifies everything and saves you money on interest. Credit unions are usually your best bet for these loans. Third option, sell assets. I know this hurts, but sometimes you have to make hard choices. If you have a car that's paid off and worth $12,000, consider selling it and buying a $4,000 reliable used car. That's $8,000 toward your debt. Do you have jewelry, collectibles, tools, anything of value? Sell it. Your financial survival is worth more than stuff. Fourth option, part-time work. I know you're retired. I know you're tired. But a short-term part-time job, even just 15 hours a week for 6 months, can generate enough income to attack that debt aggressively. Grocery stores, retail, tutoring, anything. It's temporary. Fifth option, non-profit credit counseling. Organizations like the National Foundation for Credit Counseling offer free help. They'll work with your creditors to lower your interest rates, set up a payment plan, and help you budget. This isn't a scam. These are legitimate non-profits that exist to help people exactly like you. Last option, bankruptcy. I know that word is terrifying, but if you're drowning and there's no other way out, bankruptcy might be the life raft. Yes, it damages your credit, but if your credit is already destroyed and you're 70 years old, does that really matter? You're not buying a house. Chapter 7 Bankruptcy can wipe out credit card debt and give you a fresh start. Talk to a bankruptcy attorney. Many offer free consultations. The reality check here is what I need you to understand. Carrying credit card debt into retirement is fundamentally different than carrying it while you're reworking. When you're working, you have time, earning potential, and flexibility. When you're retired, you have none of those things. Every month that debt sits there. It's eating your survival money. It's stealing your peace. It's ruining what should be your rest. If you're not retired yet and you're carrying credit card debt, you need to treat paying it off as your absolute top financial priority. More important than maxing out your 401k. More important than taking that vacation. More important than anything. Because bringing debt into retirement is like bringing a predator into your home. It will hunt you down. And if you're already retired and drowning, stop suffering in silence. Talk to someone. Call a credit counselor. Talk to your family. Look at your options. You're not a failure. You're not stupid. You're caught in a system designed to trap people, and you need help getting out. The average retiree with credit card debt is paying over $5,600 a year just in interest. That's $470 a month that could be going to groceries, medication, seeing your grandkids, actually living. You've worked your entire life. You deserve better than spending your retirement feeding a credit card company. So here's what I want you to do right now. If you're carrying credit card debt into retirement, or you're about to retire with debt, write down the total amount you owe, the interest rates, and the minimum payments. Look at that number. Feel how heavy it is, and then decide today that you're going to do something about it. Pick one option from the escape plan and take the first step this week. One phone call, one balance transfer application, one conversation with a credit counselor. Your retirement doesn't have to be a nightmare, but you have to act now. Because every month you wait, that debt gets heavier and the options get fewer. Take control.